This show is made possible by the generous support of listeners just like you. Our show is about helping souls grow, prosper, and evolve, and every gift ensures that we can continue to do this. So we thank our generous supporters and also ask if you would like to be a part of supporting this important effort to bring this message of truth to the world. Please consider heading to experienceofthesoul.com/support to be a part of supporting us by being a regular patron or making a one-time gift. Blessings on the journey, dear friend.
Zen Living Realty, Supportek Staffing, and Center for the Healing Arts present The Authentic Spiritual Journey, a weekly show featuring real and practical spiritual conversations from diverse perspectives here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. Today, episode 143, Your Soul's Best Interest. And now your host, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson.
Hello and welcome to The Authentic Spiritual Journey. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I am the host, and I'm here in 818 Studios with my producer.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Croft. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 143 of The Authentic Spiritual Journey. I hope that you've had a great weekend, and yeah, it's March 15th. Is this the Ides of March? Is that March 15th?
I was going to say March 4th. But no, it's the 15th.
March 4th. But March 15th, exactly. That's like the Ides of March, right? Isn't it?
We do this every year. That's what's so funny.
Yeah,
we must be getting old because we keep repeating things that we've said before. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the week. Happy Monday, friends. We'd love to be the ones to welcome you in. And we're coming up on the beginning of spring. So this is a very important time to be about our soul journey, because we want to be in sync with the seasons, believe it or not, because we are nature itself. And this is a fun time of year because there's a lot of newness, a lot of growth, a lot of great energy coming in. We're going to be this weekend at the ranch, which is going to be great, on the 20th, which I believe is the first day of spring. So we've changed the day, we've changed the time a little bit because, when we started being at the ranch, it was really shutdown mode. And, we were providing people a safe place to worship outside, and we were on Fridays. Well, now that more people are back to work and we've moved it to Saturdays. And so Chef Kelly will be there with food starting at 5, and then worship is at 6. So if you come out and bring the kids, you can walk around the ranch and see the horses and experience the beauty of spring. And in Florida, you might want to take your allergy pills.
Right. I know, right? Yeah, because spring, and it's been going on for about a month. I started seeing pollen on my car in the middle of February.
I know. Well, a lot of the flowers and trees at my house are already starting to bloom. Yeah, spring happens really early in Florida, sometimes in January.
I know, right? Not that I'm complaining. I still love the Florida weather.
I know. We love Florida. We're happy to be here, happy to be alive. And I'll be honest, friends, I am finally getting accustomed to this virtual world. And it's been a part of my growth and my evolution as a speaker, as a teacher, as a coach. And God is really moving me forward in this time.
Yeah, you've got so much happening between classes and coaching and virtual speaking engagements. Do you see that really going away? Even let's pretend like everybody is vaccinated and the world's really opening up and we're not necessarily masked up anywhere. Do you think that the virtual presence will be an ongoing thing moving forward?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, about a year ago, we brought on Ray Perez, who's one of our sponsors with Zen Living Realty. And I said to him then, this is going to be a trend. Home sales are going to be up. He said, well, because he had told me that a lot of realtors were nervous going into this time. I said, oh no, home sales are going to be up because people are going to be home. They're going to be looking to be more comfortable at home, and they're going to be working at home. So they're going to have different needs. There's going to be a lot of shakeup in the market, and that's exactly what we've seen.
Yeah.
So in answer to your question, I think so. This will be my prediction. I'm prophesying here. That's what they call it in biblical times. I'm prophesying that the virtual world is here to stay. The only thing that I think might change in my work is the addition of travel. Because now I'm reaching so many people in so many different parts of the world, And certainly in the U.S., in every class, there's at least 3, often 4 time zones represented. One time we had 5 time zones represented, and there were only about 15 people. So it was really cool because I say only, but it was just people interested in a real specific topic. And, if we were stuck in the idea that you have to be in one place to give a course, I think of all those people that would have missed out. So what I'm hearing from people in courses and one-on-one is that the virtual connections have been very, very meaningful because it helps them to know it's not just them and it's not just their community or it's not just their way of thinking, but that many, many people all around the country and, like I say, even around the world believe these spiritual truth principles.
Yeah.
And that's been very invigorating and exciting. So even though we've been in shutdown in so many places, still new kinds of connections are happening. So I think that will continue. But I think the addition for me and my work will be then going to these various places, spiritual centers, and creating events around gathering more people who believe in this way, who teach this way. And I'm very willing to visit unity centers, religious science centers, and centers not associated with any church at all. I'm happy to speak in a community center. So, and I've already had someone approach me about doing this and organizing it for me and potentially funding an aspect of it as well to help me get to different locations because they believe in the message I'm giving. And so I think for me, what's going to be different is traveling to the various locations that now I have people, and that will help me support people. So that's a long answer, but friends, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, it's really, really exciting. And as a teacher, I don't see it going away. I mean, we talked about this early during the shutdown, how this is kind of it's normalized virtual online learning and the tools and so many tools are available just even a year later, because we're coming up around almost exactly a year when everything really, really shut down.
Oh, I know exactly. I know because I've been mentoring and talking with ministers, who I remember last year at Easter were thinking, oh, we got to just get through Easter and everything will be okay. And I said, I don't think so.
You called it. You absolutely called it.
I remember when I said to the staff at CCU, just go ahead and order a few hundred masks. Oh, are we going to need those? Oh, yes. It's here to stay.
I remember when you said September at the earliest,
Yes.
And
yes, everybody thought I was nuts when I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, in March that seemed unconscionable. I mean, it seemed unconscionable that they were, canceling NCAA tournament and the Masters, all of these things, which are touchstones of our year, get postponed and get canceled.
Right. Well, and I tend to poo-poo most of what the news says because it's so hyped. But when I saw that Disney and the NBA shut down, because I happened to be out of town speaking at that time, and I remember thinking, I have got to get home, and I still had one more gig to do. So, I was going from Virginia and then flying to New York for another gig. So, this has been an amazing time, and I hope for all of our listeners, they're tracking with me too, because life has changed, I believe, forever. And the good news is I think as we move forward, as there's more healing taking place and more, a continued awareness still of what we can do to stay safe, that people are anxious to get out. And I want them to be able to do so safely, obviously. But I think we need the person-to-person connection. I know I do. And I know if I do and my family does, and probably everybody is feeling about that way. It's like, okay, even our introverts are now going, okay, people, like, enough is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and just, I'll mention that, friends, if you are in an area, if you have a spiritual center and you're a listener and you'd be willing to support something about what I'm saying, contact us. Contact us through my website, which is thesoulworksgroup.com. And I'm sure that's all in the show notes, and it'll be, in in the information that we shared. There's many, many ways to contact us. I mean, you can just look up my name and get far more information and images than you'd ever want, So, but definitely contact us if you want to be a part of this. We're about bringing, I often say two phrases in describing the show. One is it's about reawakening consciousness to love, acceptance, and peace, which it most definitely is. But my primary mission in life is to help people grow, prosper, and evolve. And those things are closely related and definitely have to do with what we're talking about today. So, Dave, let's get into the topic of today. Give us our title, please.
Our title for today is Your Soul's Best Interest. Your soul's best interest. Your soul's best interest.
How do you want to say that? Yes, your soul's best interest. Exactly. The full sentence probably should be, I am operating in my soul's best interest. I am living in my soul's best interest. I am making decisions in my soul's best interest. So let me break it down. We often talk about our souls, and we lovingly say that our souls have been with us since the beginning of time. When this body dies, the soul will still be with us. And even our holy scriptures, the Bible, tell us that we are an eternal soul. Now, in traditional Christianity, we kind of stop with that idea that we're eternal and that we're born and we die. Well, many other world religions also teach that we're an eternal soul, and they also teach the idea of karma and reincarnation. And in my, I'm just remembering in my work right now on Monday nights, we're in this class, Soul Evolution Reincarnation right now. So the timing of the show is perfect. So we're a soul, and the soul has been with us for ever and ever, amen, since the beginning of time, and will always be with us. Now, over this time, our soul has grown, it has expanded, and as we return to planet Earth for a new lifetime, we theoretically call forth this life experience to learn more, to, as I say, to grow, to prosper, and evolve, to awaken more to the God that we are. And we talked about this, the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to keep revisiting that with you so you remember that you are more than, okay, my job, my role in life, that you're more than, okay, I'm an American, or I'm a citizen, or I'm a Puerto Rican, or I'm a Mexican. You're more than that. You're more than that. You are a soul. And so, why I think this teaching about the soul touches so many people, so many different backgrounds is it doesn't matter what color you were born or what orientation you are, you're still a soul. So, now this idea is more known in some cultures than others, but what people realize is that we're on a soul journey. And most people I talk to, no matter what their dogma is, agree that they have a soul. So, and the only difference in the way I talk about it is I say you are a soul and you have a body, because the body dies, but the soul does not. So your identity becomes your spiritual nature or your soul, right? So in our work, in my work, when I say the word soul, I'm talking about your real identity. What we come to do this lifetime is a part we play in this grand play we call life. Now, in the beginning of this life, I was a daughter. I was a friend. When I was real young, loved to play tennis. I thought I was going to grow up and be a pro tennis player. No, that wasn't my journey this lifetime. Then I got into music. Okay, so that was a part of my journey this lifetime. I thought I was going to lead the New York Philharmonic. I didn't do that, but I did a lot of great conducting, did a lot of great playing. So that was part of my life this lifetime. But that was just part of a role I was playing. It wasn't who I was. So see, I'm no longer conducting, but here I still am. So see, that was just a role I was playing. when I played in orchestras, when I was in an orchestra pit, being a percussionist and a drummer and a marimba player and a timpani player. Well, that was a role I was playing in the orchestra. It was a certain sound that was needed that I was providing. Okay, so see, now it's starting to make sense. I wasn't just a percussionist, I was playing the role of a percussionist for a time. And now my role has changed. So the more I did spiritual work, the more I realized that my soul had a purpose. Now, you may be a musician and your purpose could be absolutely being a musician. My grander purpose was not to be. A lot of times you hear about musicians hiding out as lawyers when they should be musicians. Well, I was kind of the opposite. I was kind of hiding out as a musician when I should have been leading things spiritually. But, I say should. It was such an important part of my journey. And I still have it. I'm still surrounded by drums and instruments, and I play piano and guitar and drums all the time. But it's not the role I play for a job in life anymore. But it was an important part of my journey. Why am I saying all this? I'm describing this because that was just a role I was playing. And it was an important part of the role, but it wasn't who I was. Because even if I'm not conducting today, I'm still here. My soul is still here. I'm still living. I still have a purpose. I'm even more in line with my purpose. So what is guiding that? Well, logically, we have to say there's something more to me than meets the eye, right? There's something more to me than meets the eye. So I am a soul. And if that's true, and I've been here before, then I want to learn to act in my soul's best interest. Because I want to learn the lessons. I want to learn them well, because I'm not interested in coming back to planet Earth to do this again. I want to be elevated in the way I live, in the way I view the world. I want to live well. I want to treat people with love, with dignity, respect. And I want to make good choices so that I'm acting in my soul's best interest. So what few of us realize is every choice we make has a vibrational reality. Every word we say, every thought we think, everything we buy, every conversation we have, has a dynamic relationship with all that is. We are constantly creating through our words, through our choices, through our living, through our habits, through where we put our energy. And so what we want to do is make the decisions that operate in our soul's best interest. In other words, we want to make decisions, have conversations, work jobs that move our soul forward on the journey. That's what we're here to do, to grow, to prosper, evolve. And as we do that, what really happens is, as we know more of our soul, we know more of God. So every moment, every day is an opportunity to act in your soul's best interest. So, see, this makes us become 100% responsible for our lives and for our choices. There's nobody to blame. This can be a very tough truth, because when we look outside of ourselves, it's very easy to blame society and all such as that. The media, I love to blame the media at times. And, it wouldn't be there if we didn't watch it, friends. So think about that. The idea is we're working to operate in our soul's best interest. So think about, like, in the last week, decisions you've made, conversations you've had. Were those decisions, were those conversations good for your soul? This is a good question to be asking. It helps move us into consciousness. A rule we have at our house about our phones, our cell phones, is that every text you send, your grandmother should be able to read them. That means that if someone of that age and that sensibility would read your text, they would not be offended. I love that rule because it keeps it really, really simple in the way we are to manage ourselves, our conversations, and our lives. In other words, from a higher way of being. Yeah. So think about that. Are you acting in your soul's best interest? And we're going to talk more about this as we come back right after this.
We'll return to the program in just a few moments, but first, we wanted to give a special word of thanks to our podcast partner, Zen Living Realty. Zen Living Realty's mission is to mindfully serve, connect, and positively impact their customers, partners, and community through their Zen approach to real estate. Their vision is to be the most trusted real estate brokerage in the Central Florida area. You can reach Zen Living Realty at zenlivingrealty.com or call 407-800-2717. We'd also like to give a special word of thanks to Supportek Staffing. Supportek Staffing is an innovative staffing agency built on the principle of caring about employers and employees as they navigate these new workforce and workplace challenges. If you're an employer, they want to be your human resource partner and help with the changes needed during the pandemic. If you're a candidate, they want to become your lifelong career agent to help you grow into your fullest potential. Supportek prioritizes support over volume, integrity over profits, and will treat your business and your career as if it was their own. You can learn more at supportekstaffing.com. That's SUPPORTEK staffing.com. And finally, we want to give a special word of thanks to Center for the Healing Arts. Center for the Healing Arts is one of the first dedicated group practices devoted to challenging, supportive, and nurturing therapy. Their dedicated therapists have a wide range of expertise, including relationship and couples therapy, individual therapy, addictions, neurofeedback, play therapy for children, adolescents, and families, and therapy for blended family issues. They also regularly offer day-long intensive workshops for relationships, addiction recovery, adult children of alcoholics, and healing trauma in the LGBTQ+ community. For more information, head over to centerforthehealingarts.com or call 407-657-8555, extension 1. We now return you to this week's episode of The Authentic Spiritual Journey with your host, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson.
So I want to get specific. And by the way, welcome back. I'm so excited about this topic. Anyone who knows me knows if they say the word soul or prosperity, we're going to be talking for a while. We're going to be talking for a while. So I really want to give honor and kudos to, my teacher who's supported me over many years, Jane Elizabeth Hart, because she was the first person I heard talk so clearly about the soul. But I had read a lot of the Eastern teachings and also Charles Fillmore. And of course, Charles Fillmore, who was Unity's co-founder, was always talking about the soul. But Jane Elizabeth had such a clarity about it that it really has continued to serve my life and my ministry. So I want to lift her up and all the great work she's done over the years spiritually. But as we talk about acting in our soul's best interest, think about what those things would be. Well, obviously, serving others is a wonderful way to act in your soul's best interest, right? Every world religion talks about service. But I'll tell you, the biggest thing you can do to act in your soul's best interest is forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgiving, releasing the past, moving forward. And of course, forgiveness is probably the most difficult spiritual work you'll ever do. And it's interesting, in my prosperity teaching lately in work, I've been working with so many individuals and then a large group at Unity of New York, some great, great people. We had a class of about 40 in there. And the topic of forgiveness had really last month been moving all of us in terms of seeing how every time we did forgiveness work, life got better right after, because we were releasing, wounds of the past. And so when we're holding thoughts of someone owes me, it's like we're moving into the belief in debt and not enough. So holding old resentments, angers, old energy, we know is harmful to us, and it can even over time harm our bodies, right? When we hold on to all this negativity. So I mentioned that just, if you're saying, well, what do I do? I want to operate my soul's best interest. One of the quickest ways to move forward is to forgive, As a matter of fact, Jane Elizabeth years ago gave us something called a karmic scoreboard. And I thought it was great because, if every action, science tells us every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? And we know the Bible teaches, as you give, so too shall you receive, judge, and you will be judged, forgive, and you will be forgiven. So we know we live in a cause and effect universe. And remember, I said at the beginning, everything we do, everything we say, every thought we think, has a vibrational reality. So to act in your soul's best interest, obviously you want to be in the higher realms of consciousness. So forgiveness, meditating, praying, any way to elevate your consciousness to a higher way of thinking and being acts in your soul's best interest. And I mentioned service, first of all, because I think as a culture, we are so self-centered, and it's so easy to be. In America, we're pretty much, I mean, I hate to say it, but the most narcissistic culture I've ever, it's what I grew up in. But as I visit other places and other countries, I see the service to one another, the commitment to family, so it's something we really have to work hard to move out of, is what I'm saying. I'm not demonizing America. I'm saying that there's hope for America as we put our soul first and our soul's journey first. So serving others is a powerful, powerful way to act in your soul's best interest. One of the things about the journey is that as life goes on, as life goes, and Dave, I know you can relate to this because we've talked about this before in the realm of work. And all of us, I think last year we should just call the year of the pivot. Everybody was learning to pivot. Like, okay, well, I thought I was a performer. I thought I was a public speaker. Now I'm speaking on the internet at my home and a new computer. And, but because, if life is working and, we're able to kind of do our thing, we kind of get in these ruts. And we lovingly call this, of course, the comfort zone. Well, we know it's called the comfort zone because we know it and we know what to expect. And we know even if somebody gripes, we go, oh, there they go griping again. It's fine. Let's move on or whatever. So in the spiritual work, though, to act in your soul's best interest, a change is part of the curriculum. And we want to be open to opportunities to grow. And so I'll share with you real specifically, a real growth for me this year is buying a lot of new technology and learning to use it. And somebody told me once that I was an Aquarian, so I should be really, really good at tech. And what I've discovered is that when I take the time, I am very good at it. But if I expect to sit down and know it all instantly, I can get very frustrated very quickly. Dave's helped me with that on a time or two.
I've gotten the occasional text.
Yeah, like, hey, I just need 5 minutes. And I thought it was so funny the other day when I called and I was like, oh, you asked one question. I was like, oh my gosh, that's it, Dave, later.
Just like I said, sometimes it just takes a second brain to just just kind of help hold space for it.
Well, I can't wait to share the footage from today, my nature hike where we were out and saw like 5 or 6 different deer that just hung out by us. And because of my new gimbal to hold my phone / camera and record, we got some great footage, and it was a great bonding time for myself and my son. He was into the, kids now are so into the tech. He's so much better than I am at it. So that's been one of my opportunities for growth this year. And at first, even though I had the money, I wasn't sure I wanted to do it. And it was like, well, I I'm going to do it. And I felt like this release of energy when I was just like, yes, I'm going to invest in myself and my business. And already it's been worth the investment, even though nobody's even seen the footage yet. I know it's going to support people. I just know it is. So that's been a big growth opportunity for me. And so what did I have to do to grow? Well, I had to come out of what I know. I have to be willing to look stupid. I have to be willing to not know the answer. And I have to say to my 13-year-old, huh?
Explain this to me.
Honey, could you just show me this one more time? And he's so calm, and so are you. And, and some of the stuff, I was so proud of myself for even getting the thing together before I saw him. And after we used it for half an hour, he goes, "Oh, you didn't tell me there was an app." I go, "Yeah, there's an app." So we've had a great time with it. And I got a field recorder I'm going to use next month. I'm going to be with one of my former mentors, Mary Delaney. I'm going to be so glad to bring her onto the show. And the plan is to use it literally hiking in the desert.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those episodes, because you're going to do a field recording interview for this show, Authentic Spiritual Journey. Yes, for this show.
Yes, and that's with my other new recording gear. So I've got a lot of new gear, a brand new computer. So what am I saying? I'm saying that I love when life sends me challenges most of the time. And I feel proud of myself when I can learn something new. So that's an opportunity for growth for me. Another thing that was new for me this year is I bought a new home. Late last year, I bought a new home, and I wanted to renovate both bathrooms. And I have done a lot of the work. And I am very proud of that. My master bath feels like a spa, and it's small, but I love it because all the space is used well. I have 2 pieces in there that are from India. The energy is incredible. In this one little area, it's like, okay, the whole house now is going to feel this good. So that one little area. So that was a new opportunity for me. See, so I'm saying it's not like some big grand, sometimes we think, okay, I've got to have this major awakening to act in my soul's best interest. And those come at certain times, but it's the everyday, it's the praying, it's the meditating, it's the being open to something new, it's forgiving. And it's even learning like to listen to your intuition. We often call it listening to your guidance, but what I'm speaking of is the inner voice of the intuition. So these are all very, very simple things that you can do. So, and remember, as I talk about my opportunities, your opportunities will be different than mine to grow. But rather than looking at life as like one big challenge, what if you could look at it as every opportunity where you're learning something new is that you're acting in your soul's best interest by moving forward. And that is another way, by taking action, right? So if we're not taking action because we're afraid, that's not acting in our soul's best interest. We want to move forward. We want to move forward with in love. We want to move forward into new opportunity. And that helps us move out of fear, and into love, because we know we're being guided. We know we're being guided on the, we know we're being moved forward on the journey. And finally, I want to mention that a wonderful way to move forward on your journey and act in your soul's best interest is to join with a community of people, of like-minded individuals, whether that's a church, taking a spiritual class, when appropriate, going to a spiritual event. It's really important to be around people that elevate the way you think, that bring you new ideas about your potential. And this could be true both spiritually. It could also be true in your business. It could also be true in relationship. Some of the courses I take now on a regular basis have elevated the way I look at movies, at books, at fairy tales, at story, because I'm realizing that what I'm really learning is the archetypal patterns in certain fields of consciousness. So the way I'm thinking has been elevated. So this has helped me look at my whole life differently. So friends, ultimately what I'm speaking of today in acting in your soul's best interest, I've said it a time or two, but I want to end with this, is really being open to change. Change is really the language of the soul. If change is happening, it means soul growth is possible. How we respond to that change, how we move forward, is the way we act in our soul's best interest. So I want to encourage you to be of service, to meditate, to pray, to reach out to others, to forgive, to listen to your intuition, and be open to new opportunity. So when life brings you something you don't expect, go, oh yes, I know what this is. And you can approach life from a higher level, realizing your soul is growing, your soul is prospering, your soul is evolving, right? And we're here to support you in that and on your spiritual journey. That's what we're here to do. So we bless you, dear friend. As always, we are so grateful to have you on the show. We're always grateful that you listen and that you share our message with others. Our goal always is to lift you up. I also want to mention, if there's a way we can support your soul's journey even more, let us know. We've done several topics that have been recommended. I last month taught a Bible class that was a lot of fun and I had a lot of great interest and participation with. And I also want to mention, friends, once a month, I'll also be doing some free courses. You can join us for that. I also do want to mention the show will be on all month of April, but I will be on a spiritual retreat for a month. So we bless you.
Yeah, that's going to be the first time in our 150 odd or so episodes by the time we get to that we've really taken a pause longer than a week or so to record the episodes, right?
Yeah, sorry, Dave. Didn't mean to interrupt. Yes. So I was going to say, talk about acting in your soul's best interest. When we recently had MC Yogi on, and he was talking about some time off. And after we got off the call, I mean, again, talk about elevating your journey. I thought, he's taking a lot of time off. Can I take a month? And as soon as I thought about it, it was like the universe gave me yes, 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 yes. So towards the end of the month, there were 2 things already booked I realized I had to do, but that's okay because I've already committed to them and I'll keep my commitment. But friends, this is acting in my soul's best interest. I need time. I need space. I need nature. And I'm going to be powering down every day, hikes, creeks, desert, mountains.
But let the record reflect, you are still out there working. You're going to be recording a podcast episode while you're out there. Now, listeners at home, you're not going to miss a beat. We are recording ahead of schedule. And so you'll still get a new episode every single Monday in Prosperity Capsules. The channel is chugging along, but you are going to get out to nature and we'll pick up on the other side and get into May's episodes.
Right. Well, yes, for the listener, nothing will change. Hopefully I'll come back even better and refreshed. And I know that this is from God for me. And this is part of my evolution. And this is certainly part of me acting in my soul's best interest. My body, my mind, my soul need a rest. So thank you for your support to do that. So again, friends, blessings to you. We love you so much and are so grateful that you join us every week. And we're seeing you lifted up and supported. And we're grateful to be part of what lifts you up on your weekly journey. And we'll see you next week.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Authentic Spiritual Journey presented by Zen Living Realty, Supportek Staffing, and Center for the Healing Arts. This channel is also made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Authentic Spiritual Journey is copyright 2021 Cynthia Alice Anderson, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission from RR Hot Publishing. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.